Slow and below. Hi, Dean Jenkins with FollowMeTrades.com, and this is the market update for the week coming up of February 4th, 2019. And I say slow and below because that's really what earnings growth looks like so far. We've had about half of the S&P 500 companies report, and growth and earnings are definitely slowing down just a little bit, as well as the overall global economy. We had some good news out last week. The FOMC announcement was out, and the Fed is backing off on interest rates, at least for now. And there was some semi-positive news on the trade deal with China. Some optimism that a deal will be struck. We can find some kind of resolution there for the good of all parties. But when we look at earnings growth, slow and below. Let me show you what we're talking about. So this is the latest insight report from FactSet, who tracks earnings, and it's a pretty good analysis, pretty good information on what's going on with earnings. And so we've had 46%, half of the companies in the S&P 500 have reported so far in this earnings season. And interesting, in aggregate, you can see I got highlighted, companies are reporting earnings 3.5% above estimates, which is below the 5%, the 5-year average. So earnings are actually coming in a little bit lower than history. And also reporting revenues 0.8 above the estimates, which is below the 5-year average. So earnings and revenue coming in below historic averages. And another important comment here, that if our current actual growth rate is 12.4%, which it looks like, first time the index has not reported earnings growth above 20% since Q4 of 2017. And then finally, looking ahead, analysts are predicting a decline in earnings for the first quarter of 2019, low single-digit growth in earnings for the second, third quarters of 2019. Forward 12-month price-to-earnings ratio below the 5-year average. So slow growth, slowing growth. Not by any means a recession or anything like that, but earnings and revenue growth slow. The reality is they're slowing, and they're projected to continue to slow down. In looking at the S&P 500 chart, we can see, of course, we had this massive move from October down to Christmas, and that's still the dominant trend. We've had a move up, a pretty impressive move up for the first month of the year. It looks like it's slowing down. We do have the overnight futures open on the S&P 500 gap down. They're down about 3 points right now, and looks like that is heading down. We had a pretty choppy day on Friday, so probably a negative open on Monday. So what do we watch for this week? Well, there's lots of stuff coming up, and let's be ready for that. Here's the things to watch for this week. In terms of government reports, the big deal coming out would be the State of the Union address by President Trump on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The other reports that are scheduled are pretty tame. Probably not going to get much action out of that. So, State of the Union address could cause some volatility. Monday we got some big earnings, and we're right in the thick of earnings season. Notable earnings Monday: Alexion, Google, and Seagate Technologies. Tuesday, Electronic Arts, PLT, Disney. Wednesday, Crown Beverage, CMI, Lilly, FireEye, General Motors, GSK, Humana. A lot of different sectors represented here. Thursday, MT, Expedia, Grubhub, T-Mobile, Twitter, and then Friday, CBOE, PSX, and Hasbro. There's hundreds of companies reporting. These are just some of the notable ones that we'll be tracking that represent major sectors. And then finally, the government's back open, but only until February 15th, and we got to see if any deals are struck, anything before the deadline approaches, and see what happens there. And of course, we had the meeting with China last week. There was some optimism in that, but we'll see if any news comes, any real lasting change. So meanwhile, we have to just kind of take it step by step and day by day and see what the realities of trading are. This has been a long extended run up. Again, the futures overnight open is a little bit down, and we're expecting a pullback here before too long, and we'll see if there's any shorting opportunities in that. We'll send out updates to the PIX subscribers. But meanwhile, we just got to take it a step at a time and trade the realities. Use risk control, keep the winners big, losers small, and pay attention to the news, but kind of look beyond the noise, name of this newsletter, and again, focus on the realities of price action and trade accordingly. It'll be interesting. We've got 2019 is off to a great start in our trading. We're up, we've closed 7 trades, we've got a 71% win ratio, and we're in some really good trades and looking for more. So reality rules, and we'll stay focused on that. But that's the update. If anything new comes up, of course, we'll send an update. All right, thanks. Catch you next time.